Hi guys, this is Miss Nuria again, and today I think it's our last lesson and we have so many things to do, so we're just gonna go through them. I am going to explain the things that we're gonna do today first, and then you will be able to do it as well. So, here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna read a new story called Red, a crayon story. I'll read it for you, and then I'm gonna do the story map that I had done before, that I showed you before, the one in which we have characters, plot, conflict, resolution, and setting. After I fill that in, I am gonna retell the Red, a crayon story, and you're gonna observe how I am using all this information that I have put together to tell the story, so that then you can do it with the story of Mrs. Katz and Tush. Yes? So there's so much to do, so let's get to it. And we're gonna start by reading Red, a crayon story by Michael Hall. He was red, but he wasn't very good at it. Oh dear. His teacher thought he needed more practice. I'll draw a red strawberry, then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really. But he couldn't really. Like this? Oh my, let's try again. His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. Why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange? A really big one. A really orange one. But they made a big greenish one? Yuck. Oops. His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. Your class is making self-portraits for parents' night. Wear this warm red scarf. Nice. It's so you. But it wasn't. Oh dear me. Everyone seemed to have something to say. Sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all. Don't be silly. It says red on his label. He came that way from the factory. Frankly, I don't think he's very bright. Well, I think he's lazy. Right! He's got to press harder. Really apply himself. Give him time, he'll catch on. Of course he will. But he didn't catch on. Green frog, ribbit. Black sheep, meh. Brown cow, moo. Red attack! All the art supplies wanted to help her. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. It will hold you together. The scissors thought his label was too tight. One snip should do it. I thought he wasn't sharp enough. Stay still now. But even with all our help and all his hard work, he just couldn't get the hang of it. Will you make me a blue ocean for the boat? I can't. I'm red. Will you try? So he did. Thank you, it's perfect. You're welcome, it was easy. And he didn't stop there. Bluebells, blue jeans, blue bird, blueberries, blue whale. I'm blue. He was blue, and everyone was talking. My son is brilliant. Who would have known he was blue? I always said he was blue. It was obvious. His blue ocean really lifted me. All of his work makes me happy. His blue strawberries are my favorite. He's so intense. I'm going to make a green lizard with him. A really big one. I hear he's working on a huge new project. He's really reaching for the sky. And he really was. Isn't it a beautiful day? It's perfect. So that was her story, and it's really nice, really fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I'm going to start filling in all of the elements in our story map. So we have the title and the author. The title is Red, A Crayon Story by Michael Hall. Then we're going to put in the characters. My characters are, remember we had two kinds of characters, main characters and supporting characters. So my main characters are obviously Red, Scarlet, who's the teacher, Olive, who is the mom, Yellow, who is the first friend, Silver and Gray, who are the grandparents, and Barry, who is the helpful friend. Those are my main characters, and I'm going to put them in bold so that I remember that the story is mostly about them. And then we have some other supporting characters, like all the colors who have things to comment about Red, and all the art supplies who want to help him, like the masking tape, the pencil, and the scissors. Now, I've got my characters. Next, we're going to go to setting. We are not really sure where our story takes place, but we know that it's happening on a notebook or a coloring book because they keep coloring on it. And also, I can think of a place where all these supplies are together, and the story probably happens in a child's bedroom, in a school, or maybe in a stationery shop. Now let's go to the plot-driven part of my story map. We have problem and solution. What I am going to do is I'm going to find one problem and one solution that they find, and I am going to put in bolds the solution that actually works, because not all of the solutions are working. So number one, Red can't draw properly, so the solution is he practices with his teacher and friends. Red practices more, and he still cannot do it. It's a problem. So the solution is he gets a scarf from his grandparents, and it still doesn't work. All his friends can color except for him. So the last solution is that everyone has something to say or has a way in which they try to help. And again, it doesn't work. What is my final solution is that Barry asks him to draw the ocean, and he discovers that he is in fact blue. So those are my problems and my solutions. Lastly, let's go to the plot. I know my characters, I know my setting, I know the plot points in the story. What is, remember I was saying the MTR line. What connects everything together? And I have written, a blue crayon has been labeled red, and he thinks he is very bad at being red. He keeps trying and getting help, but always fails. He keeps trying and getting help, but always fails. In the end, he and everyone else discover that he's been blue all along. Yeah, that's my plot. Perfect. So I've got my chart together. Now I am going to retell the story using my story map. You can observe how I'm using all these elements to tell the story so that you can do it yourself for the last video and the last assignment, which is going to be to take your mind map and use it to record yourself to make a video telling the story of Mrs. Katz and Touche. Okay, so I've read my story, I've made my mind map. What's the next thing that I have to do? I'm gonna read over my mind map, and once I really understand what the story is about and who are the characters in my story, I am gonna retell my story. I will obviously start with the title and the author. My story is called Red, A Crayon Story by Michael Hall. And then I'm going to say who the story is about. My story is about Red. So I'm going to start with the first problem. My first problem is that Red can't draw properly, and the solution is that he practices with his teacher and friends. So, because I don't remember so well who the teacher and friends are, then I am going to go on my character list, and I read Scarlet is the teacher, Olive is the mom, and Yellow is a friend. So, having all that information in my head, I retell the story like this. Red is a crayon that can't draw properly. It tries to draw red and it cannot do it well. So Scarlet, his teacher, goes to Red and says, let's practice. So they start practicing, but still Red cannot draw properly red. So his mom, and his mom's called Olive, invites a friend, Yellow, over. And he says, why don't you go and mix together? And if you mix together, then you can make some orange. So they go and they try to draw an orange, but it ends up being green. And Yellow is not very happy about it. So then I'm going to see what it says. It says, Red practices more and he cannot do it. He gets a scarf from the grandparents. Yeah. Then Red's grandparents, Silver and Gray, give him a scarf so that he can do a self-portrait. But it is not the best. And it says all his friends can color their color except for him. So now, and everyone has something to say or wants to help in a way. All the other crayons start to talk about it. Yes, the other colors wonder why he's not doing it properly. They wonder if maybe he's being lazy. They wonder if maybe he doesn't know how. They say like maybe he just needs to work harder. Maybe he's not working hard enough. Yeah, and all the art supplies, I have them on my character list as well, they want to help him. So the scissors try to loosen up the skin of the crayon, or they try to see if maybe he's broken the masking tape, or the pencil tries to sharpen Red, but it's still not working. Finally, and I have here, Barry asks him to draw the ocean and he discovers that he's blue. So finally, Barry, his very helpful friend, comes to Red and he's like, hey Red, can you help me draw the ocean? And Red's like, I don't think so. I am Red. And Barry's like, just give it a go. So Red draws the ocean and it's so beautiful and it's so perfect. So then he discovers that he was blue all along and he starts to draw bluebirds and bluebirds and blueberries and blue whales and everything blue, and he's feeling very happy. I am going to read my plot to make sure that everything that I said through my retelling of the story is there. A blue crayon has been labeled red and he thinks he's very bad at being red. So we said that already. He keeps trying and getting help, but he always fails. So yeah, we talked about Scarlet the teacher, Olive the mom, and Yellow the friend. In the end, he and everyone else discovers he's been blue all along. So great! I have told my story. I have used my story map to have all the information I need. So in case I forget the name of the colors or I forget the name of the characters, it's right there. And so that I can remember all the steps, remember all the empty R station of my plot to retell the story. Now, your homework is to use a story map that you did for your first assignment and use it to retell the story of Mrs. Katz and Touche. Remember, the more information you put on your paper, the more information you'll be able to remember. So that's all from me today, and it's been really nice teaching you again, and I hope I get to meet you or to see you eventually. So bye bye, have a nice summer.